The investigation into a deadly gas station shooting in Silver Springs, Maryland, led police to discover the decomposing body of a pregnant woman inside an apartment.
Police have identified the pregnant woman who was found dead inside of a Silver Spring apartment. Her name was Denise Middleton. Middleton died back in October, but wasn't found until last week. Murd3r killed her. He was wanted for a deadly shooting at a convenience store. And when officers searched his home, they found Middleton's body.
26-year-old Denise Middleton, also known as Dee Dee to her friends and family, was from New York, but currently living in Silver Springs, Maryland with her boyfriend. She was 8 months pregnant with a baby boy, whom she planned to name Ezekiel. She loved everything fashion, hair, and makeup related, and was studying cosmetology at Montgomery Beauty School. Her family says that she was funny, witty, and loving, and couldn't wait to be a mom. Unfortunately, Denise would never get that opportunity. On December 8, 2022, at 3 p.m., Montgomery County Police responded to a convenience store at the Shell gas station for a report of a shooting. Upon arrival, officers find 61-year-old Ayalu Wandamu suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Tori Damon Moore entered the Dash-In store at the Shell gas station. Tori started an argument with Ayalu. This time, the argument quickly escalated into a physical altercation. From behind the counter, Ayalu made an attempt to defend himself by grabbing a metal pole and started to attack back. That's when Tori pulled out a handgun from underneath his vest and began shooting Ayalu multiple times. He struck Ayalu at point-blank range, and then he reached over the counter and continued shooting into his body several more times to ensure his death. Tori then grabbed his drink and walked out of the convenience store. Store staff and surveillance footage quickly identified Tori as the shooter. A warrant was immediately issued for his arrest. The next day, on December 9, 2022, authorities tracked Tori to his residence at Enclave Silver Springs apartment. Homicide detectives, along with the Montgomery County SWAT unit, headed to Tori's apartment. When the SWAT team entered his home with a no-knock search warrant, they are shocked by what they find. Along with Tori, they discover the decomposing body of a pregnant woman. The woman's body, which was in an advanced state of decomposition, was found on the floor of the apartment's bedroom. Based on the condition of her body, she could not be identified. Her body was transported to the medical examiner's office. Tori was immediately arrested and transported to the Montgomery County Police Headquarters. When asked about the deceased female in his apartment, he stated it was his girlfriend, Denise Middleton. He also told detectives he had been in a relationship with Denise, and she was 8 months pregnant. According to him, Denise died sometime in October, 2 months before her body was found. The medical examiner's office determined that Denise was approximately 38 weeks pregnant at the time of her death, and that the fetus, a boy, would have lived had Denise delivered at that time. The autopsy also revealed that she had been shot multiple times. When asked to go over the circumstances surrounding Denise's death, Tori describes the following. Sometime in October of 2022, Tori went to New York to bring Denise back to Maryland. On the day of her death, they both left the apartment to get some food. He began arguing with Denise on the way back to the apartment. He became angry and pushed Denise down in the front of his apartment. Denise was pregnant and scared, remained on the floor. This angered Tori even more, and he began to shout at her to get off the ground, saying, quote, "Stop putting on the show," end quote. Once they got into the residence, he continued his physical attack on Denise, slapping her, punching her, pushing her, choking her. Denise, unable to fight back, managed to escape into the bedroom. He left to buy some marijuana to cool off, but when he returned an hour later, he discovered Denise dead. Officers knew there was absolutely no way she could have harmed herself, as the autopsy report states that she was shot 7 times and several projectiles were recovered from her body. So when Denise ran into the bedroom, Tori most likely followed her and shot her multiple times, killing her and their unborn child. Days after her death, Tori claimed he traveled to California and stayed there for over a month. He recently returned back to Maryland and continued living with her decomposing body. Denise was dead for 2 months, but no one had reported her missing. No one checked to see if her baby was born or even if she was okay. Officers had no reports of any missing individuals from that location that fit her description. In fact, officers were amazed that they didn't receive any calls or complaints complaints about the tenants at the apartment smelling the decomposing body. There was nothing that would give him an indication something was occurring within the apartment. One tenant said that she did complain to management. Unfortunately, that complaint did not reach the police department.
I've been putting requests into, everyone really has, but no one has done anything about them.
If the police say they didn't receive any complaints, I can believe that, but I would find it hard to believe that the residents didn't complain.
Our portal to make requests has been down for 2 months, so even if there were requests, they could have just gone unnoticed or have not been documented. They told me to contact the local police department, and they weren't going to put anything out about it.
This is home for people, and people should feel safe in their homes, and when they don't, it should be of paramount concern to the management.
Murd3r Moore is a known criminal with an extensive criminal history that includes arrests for armed robbery, first and second degree assaults, robbery with a deadly weapon, kidnapping, and other felony charges. At the time of his arrest, he was wanted for an aggravated assault on Denise from Norfolk, Virginia. Back in June 2022, Denise told police that Murd3r had punched and then choked her for about 3 minutes to the point she couldn't breathe. There was a pattern of abuse, yet Denise remained in that relationship. In fact, she never turned Murd3r in for his warrant for the assault on her. Murd3r Moore was charged with first-degree murder for the 3 deaths, and while Montgomery court found him to be a danger to the community, they found him not competent enough to stand trial. The judge also ordered him to continue to be held without bond.
31-year-old Murd3r Moore asking the judge to release him to pretrial services so that he can get back to a business he says he owns, and he also talked about wanting to be back with his family. The judge, though, not letting him out, found him both not competent, as you mentioned, and also a danger to the community.
Murd3r did speak in court and had the audacity to ask the judge to release him to pretrial services so he can get back to his business he claims he owned. He also spoke of wanting to be with his family. But what about the families of Ayolu and Denise? Their lives will never be the same. The tragic murder of Denise and her unborn child has left the family heartbroken. At the time where she should be getting ready to celebrate the birth of her child, she gets killed. They are heartbroken that she was shot and left to die in that manner. They held a vigil for Denise and baby Ezekiel and released balloons in their honor. They also issued a statement. Denise was a walking book of positive affirmations. She always said the nicest things about you when she saw you, always complimenting someone and giving out love. If you disagree with her, she would make sure to make things right. Denise was so loved by her family and so cared for. We are heartbroken that this was her story and reality. Ayolu's family are also devastated about his death. The short interaction forever changed the lives of his family. His family described him as kind, quiet, and who loved America and the opportunities the country gave him. He leaves behind a wife of 25 years and many siblings in Ethiopia, as well as his mother, who the family says he supported. His family says his body will be flown to Ethiopia to be buried. We are immensely sad about what happened to him. This is a guy who would give him the t-shirt if you asked him, his last shirt. I cannot believe he passed over an iced tea. I had never known him to fight back. I don't know what transpired there. His family also wanted to emphasize 2 points. Jobs like his can be dangerous and encourage employees to be cautious. The message is to tell people who work in this field, please, nothing is worth your life.
No matter what the manager or the owner is telling you to do, nothing is worth your life. This country is full of other opportunities. Please.
Both deaths were completely senseless. Ayolu was just at work trying to make a living to help his family. And Denise should have been getting ready to celebrate the birth of her child. This was just pure evil, and we hope both families get the justice they deserve.